"Now that we are cool," he said, "and regret that we hurt each other, I am not sorry that it happened. I deserved your reproach. 100 times I have wished to tell you the whole story of my travels and adventures among the savages, and one of the reasons which prevented me was the fear that it would have an unfortunate effect on our friendship. That was precious, and I desired above everything to keep it. But I must think no more about that now. I must think only of how I am to tell you my story. I will begin at a time when I was 23. It was early in life to be in the thick of politics, and in trouble to the extent of having to fly my country to save my liberty, perhaps my life. Every nation, someone remarks, has the government it deserves, and Venezuela certainly has the one it deserves and that suits it best. We call it a republic, not only because it is not one, but also because a thing must have a name. And to have a good name, or a fine name, is very convenient, especially when you want to borrow money. If the Venezuelans, thinly distributed over an area of 500,000 square miles, mostly illiterate peasants, half-breeds, and indigenes, were educated, intelligent men, zealous only for the public weal, it would be possible for them to have a real republic. They have instead a government by cliques, tempered by revolution, and a very good government it is, in harmony with the physical conditions of the country and the national temperament. Now, it happens that the educated men, representing your higher classes, are so few that there are not many persons unconnected by ties of blood or marriage with prominent members of the political groups to which they belong. By this you will see how easy and almost inevitable it is that we should become accustomed to look on conspiracy and revolt against the regnant party, the men of another clique, as only in the natural order of things. In the event of failure, such outbreaks are punished, but they are not regarded as immoral. On the contrary, men of the highest intelligence and virtue among us are seen taking a leading part in these adventures. Whether such a condition of things is intrinsically wrong or not, or would be wrong in some circumstances and is not wrong because inevitable in others, I cannot pretend to decide. And all this tiresome profusion is only to enable you to understand how I, a young man of unblemished character, not a soldier by profession, not ambitious of political distinction, wealthy for that country, popular in society, a lover of social pleasures, of books, of nature, actuated as I believed by the highest motives, allowed myself to be drawn very readily by friends and relations into a conspiracy to overthrow the government of the moment, with the object of replacing it by more worthy men, ourselves to wit. Our adventure failed because the authorities got wind of the affair and matters were precipitated. Our leaders at the moment happened to be scattered over the country. Some were abroad, and a few hot-headed men of the party, who were in Caracas just then and probably feared arrest, struck a rash blow. The president was attacked in the street and wounded, but the attackers were seized, and some of them shot on the following day. When the news reached me, I was at a distance from the capital, staying with a friend on an estate he owned on the river Quebrada Honda, in the state of Guarico, some 15 to 20 miles from the town of Zaraza. My friend, an officer in the army, was a leader in the conspiracy, and as I was the only son of a man who had been greatly hated by the Minister of War, it became necessary for us both to fly for our lives. In the circumstances, we could not look to be pardoned, even on the score of youth. Our first decision was to escape to the seacoast, but as the risk of a journey to La Guaira or any other port of embarkation on the north side of the country seemed too great, we made our way in a contrary direction to the Orinoco, and downstream to Angostura. Now, when we had reached this comparatively safe breathing place, safe at all events for the moment, I changed my mind about leaving or attempting to leave the country. Since boyhood, I had taken a very peculiar interest in that vast and almost unexplored territory we possess south of the Orinoco, with its countless unmapped rivers and trackless forests, and in its savage inhabitants, with their ancient customs and character, unadulterated by contact with Europeans. To visit this primitive wilderness had been a cherished dream, and I had to some extent even prepared myself for such an adventure by mastering more than one of the Indian dialects of the northern states of Venezuela. And now, finding myself on the south side of our great river, with unlimited time at my disposal, I determined to gratify this wish.